So I'm editing this post, and I'm seeing already the reactionary news. They trying to walk the people through this Lori Lightfoot nothing burger. She don't have anything for her investigation of this 4-year period but 2 receipts. Okay, 2 receipts. That's all she had, and she's complaining as a former federal prosecutor that she can't access information. So again, that's a nothing burger. Lori's not going to get on something unless she knows that she can get access. There's nothing that Lori can't get access towards as a former federal prosecutor. You see, she starts off the interview again, waving to her colleagues. So they got a nothing burger, and they need to quit railroading her administration because she didn't take their $5 million to steal from and give to the other cabal. That's what they're mad about. She didn't take their $5 million. That's what Lori says in her own presentation. The presentation, she say, yeah, I don't have a crime, but she messed up big time because she didn't do what she was supposed to do to qualify for this $5 million from the state. That's the highlight culmination of her presentation. And so that's what Hannibal was hungry is going to say. I'm pretty sure that's going to be what all of the soundbite drive-by media is about to report. And so that's unsatisfactory when you talk about the Tiffany derangement syndrome that we've been having to deal with for the last 2 years. You know, if she, we saw during that same meeting there where Jedediah decided that he wanted to call her out her name, that they didn't want to vote on the transparency. We've seen the last couple of months, they didn't want to come and vote on the budget so that the bills can be paid, so that they can have something else to complain about. Oh, we're being sued. We're being sued by all these people because you don't want to come and pay the bills. You don't want to come and do your job as a trustee to vote on the budget like you did today, like you did at the fight, before the fight. And so your puppet knew that with that budget getting passed, she was going to have some affirmation. So he just lost his complete cool there and decided that he was going to call her a B to excite the rabble rousers more. He's going to call her a B in front of all the constituents. And that's why he got his butt whooped. I hope the super mayor got a foot off in him, a nice foot off in his rear for calling her a B in front of the constituents. Yes, sir. Africa Times News, Boiler Monk MC, Surface Air Warfare Qualifications, Africa Times News, Thunder and Lightning Sessions. And I have a reaction to the Tiffany Henyard, the continued coup d'etat against her administration. There's a continued coup d'etat against her administration, and I hope that it's within God's will that she can overcome this coup d'etat that's multi-layered, that's against her administration and all of the great accomplishments that she's still been able to achieve. And what's just what I see as a great agenda for her constituents is what my observations and studies has seen, is what I've seen. Okay. You have Lori Lightfoot, a federal prosecutor. She's a federal prosecutor, and she came with a nothing burger. She had 2 receipts. She had 2 receipts and complaints about a lack of access. She's a federal prosecutor. She starts off her presentation acknowledging all of her federal buddies, and we're to believe that she can't get any type of information that she wants. That's not something that I can believe. This publication, this YouTube channel that I just watched, with the brother saying that it's a clickbait type of title stating that that the super mayor has lost millions. So when you see a title like that, you think somehow that she has been criminal involved with messing up millions of dollars. I think the same type of, maybe it was clickbait, or I heard a few seconds of the elder here, Pharaoh, said that. I heard him. He just did a rant against the super mayor. I didn't listen to his yet, but I'm pretty sure that it was full of emotion and disappointing rhetoric from an elder. Okay, and that type of spirit, then that type of spirit where there's an illusion of a collective a collective of resistance or whatever they want to call it against Tiffany, even if it is misguided and misinformed, and it can show you the power of misinformation. I hate to use that term because of how the liberals use it and just think that people can't consciously make a decision for themselves. But I don't think that there is a big crowd. I think there's a choreographed amount of people who can show up and be belligerent and cause disruptions like Jedediah did with his disrespectful remark, calling the super mayor out of her name. He sits on his podcast and want to quote sermons and the Bible and all of this stuff, and then get in the public body in front of people and call a sister mayor, a bitch. That's completely unacceptable. I don't care how much you don't like her. I mean, you can't get up there and see, that comes from the spirit of everybody enabling it around emotion. When you get to the line items, as I said, Lori Lightfoot, a federal prosecutor, presented a nothing burger. Okay, we had a receipt over 3 years dealing with transportation. I mean, dealing with the transportation to her obligations with the office that involves travel. It was less than $200K, and I think over a 3-year period, less than $200K for all of that area that she represents, the esteem of that area. When you talk about the world market of that area where she's, her office covers, I think it justifies a less than a $200K travel arrangement over a 3-year period with the staff that she's gonna need. And then again, when you talk about people being sensationalized to extreme behavior like Jedediah, so they can get some clout, where he want to end his speech with language that he did, then yes, I think that budget is within the means. We talk about this one item of Amazon. What is the item? Was those computers for the what was the expenses for? Again, there's a misrepresentation when you say lost millions. When you get to the butter of what's lost millions, they're saying that she didn't do what they needed her to do to accept millions of dollars. Okay, she was supposed to did something so that she can get $5 million from the state. Is what he eventually concludes to around the 10-minute mark. Okay, so because she didn't do a good job of applying for welfare, that's criminal. And she has a surplus. I saw the other antagonist a few weeks back report that each of her years she has a surplus. I see during the same meeting where Jedediah was belligerent that she has a 100% property tax rebate. So is that why they're attacking her? She has some Trump in her as far as attacking, making an external revenue service and sending those IRS agents to the border. And they're attacking me too. Y'all are bogus for this. Y'all, I know y'all. As far as a quick tangent here, I paid you guys that $1,400 from 2014. I paid you guys that, and I didn't owe you that because the guy from Missouri who I did the 20 stores for, he only paid me for the 10 stores $1,000. He didn't pay me for the other 20 stores. The other 10 stores. It was 20 total. He only paid me the 1,000 for the 10, and I was supposed to get another 1,000 for the last 10 to the 20. And he dipped out of town on me, and he never paid me. And the and so there's no way that I can owe $1,400 on my 1044 for taxes, and I had to do rentals and all types of stuff that I would write off on that. But there's no way I can owe. And then you guys have access to know what checks I cash. Like I said, I cash that check at a U.S. bank, and he's not going to be able to show you any type of other check that he gave to me that I made a deposit with, that you can check that was cash from me that was associated with justification of $1,400. And then you all intercepted one of my tax returns, maybe 2019. I've been working every year since then. From 2019 into 2020, I was working with the railroad, so I could see that not having a big federal income. But those other jobs, a lot of jobs in between those, you did an intercept, and that was in at least no later than 2020, because I haven't filed since then. One of the last times I filed is when you guys did that intercept. So I don't owe you $1,400 again, okay? And so yeah, so again, I worked that job in 2014, and I've had a bunch of other jobs since 2014, and I know I've paid taxes on all those jobs from 2014 into 2019 when I started the railroad. So there's no federal tax with that one. They have their own tax system with the railroad. And so I can see that one not being intercepted, but I know it's one of them checks before then, because I'll go a few years without filing, and I file it. And then that last time I filed, it was before that one. So that must have been maybe 2018. All right. Well, I filed from the 2014 years up until 2018. And then you guys did that illegal interception based off of that fraudulent tax claim from the gentleman from Missouri. What was his name? I don't want to misquote the name of his lighting company. I have to look it up in my notes. But yeah, I have to look it up in my notes again. But yeah, brother, he came up there in a big tan Hummer. And I did that work for him, and then he ran off after the last 10 jobs. And so yeah, ain't no $1,400, and you IRS, you guys are doing that intentionally. Quit playing with people. Yeah. So that was a relamping job. It was a relamping job for Jules, and he had a contract for the Jules grocery stores here, and I was relamping. I never forget, I had ran into Clarice Martin up there on Division 2 doing that too. Old Jacob Bowler school buddy there. And so, yeah, he only did 10. I did 20 stores. He only paid me for 10. And there's no way I owe you guys $1,400. You did one intercept, and now you're trying to do another. So go ahead and just get rid of them, Trump. We don't need to be paying. I like the ERS. You know, they need some retribution for attacking the bull among there, trying to double up to attack me. You know, they trying to join in with the libs on attacking me doing the taxes. Bad enough they colluded Patrick Murphy there, and the Howard appellate there in the first district, Sanjay in the first district there here in the appellate there, and the Iowa State graduate there. You know, DEI hires. They were DEI hires, and they were the first ones who they put there to facilitate Patrick Murphy's cabal stealing of my son. Immediately upon stealing him in March of 2019, they completely violated my due process rights, didn't contact me, had petitions out to Stephen King. It's on the record. Had a petition out to Stephen King to try to pretend as though they didn't know who his father was, as though they're doing some type of all points bulletin for the father, even though the DCFS had been hiding interactions because they never contacted me about interactions that they would have with my son's mother. And so they continued that with that last interaction that they had with her. When I sent her funds, I have that on the record that I presented to the appellates to show, my consistent 14th Amendment rights of involvement, of consistent involvement towards parenting. And part of that was sending her the funds 2 days before the incident that allowed you all to take the temporary custody of my son. I was supposed to be immediately given consideration for, a home study and the placement of my son. They violated that. And then at one of the meetings, I also have one of my uploads there where you can see that they were intervening with employers, with some of my temporary employer hires, and colluding with them to not give me my check so that I couldn't defend myself with a bogus warrant in Houston with some slumlords. Okay. And so immediately after that hearing, when I wasn't able to make that hearing with the warrant, okay, I'm trying to deal with that court case. They immediately had, with that missed court date with my son, had him ready to ship off with some. I shouldn't have had those court dates in the first place. I shouldn't have had no temporary custody hearings, no criminal record. Still don't have any criminal record. So I was supposed to get an immediate home study and access the same day that incident happened. Okay, instead of having to deal with them, parading me with courts, preventing me from having my home study, but they were immediately have the expedited placement with homosexuals and passports for them to traffic my son through Patrick Murphy. This is what the DEI hires of the appellates facilitated and gave second approval of through the appeal process against my rights. Oh, his 14th Amendment rights that he's citing, there's no jurisdiction for his 14th Amendment rights. Those homosexuals who he gave them to, they have more rights than him. These the DEI hires. You see, and they all be in cahoots against me. And so that's why I'm a little bit more, and I think Trump is aware of this. He needs to get those guys in order about my father's rights. Okay. And, and so that's what they do. They, they attack, they use the IRS. I'm going to digress from that with the IRS there and the DEIs and it's the same type of attack there that you see with, that I see against Tiffany. If you don't like someone, allow us to make mistakes that the people can then decide if that's a leadership that they don't want to associate with. Don't get out here and attack people's rights and behave like tyrants. Yeah, and they're gonna say, "Oh, he's trying to be he's crying victim. He's crying victim." No, I'm not doing that either. My Lord knows that I live right, so I'm gonna get I'm gonna get help with my fight. When you talk about my now 7-year-old, 6 days before his seventh birthday, the fires began. I told them before they began their deliberations to do it justly, or folk gonna be in rubble with unmistakable numerology. I told them that. And that's why 6 days before that 7-year-old birthday, it was flames. The insurance people had that minority report. Y'all saw the PBS when they were talking about people, the minority report, getting their Tom Cruise on. The insurance people know what time it was taking that boiler month, boy. So no, not a victim. We're going to Zambia next week. 2 weeks we're going to Zambia. Unfortunately, the honorable counselor is saying that we still should pursue. I still want to pursue the institute. We had graduating classes. That's we still have equipment. A means of generating that inventory. But I don't want to intervene with her family there. That's kind of a big mistake she made there. So that's kind of difficult for me to, it's structured to have reconciliation and forgiveness and all that good corny stuff. But we're gonna have to, approach it with care and take it day by day. Y'all can help me make that decision. Help me make that decision if we're gonna keep the institute going up, based on forgiveness there. We're gonna have some hiring fairs. Of course, the skilled trades hiring fairs, Grand Marine staffing. Okay, everybody's complaining all of this insecurity in the market. I got faith that we're going to have some booming days with the 45, 47 administration getting back the jobs roaring. And of course, I want to aid your security. I don't have any problems with the opportunities or dealing with layoffs, and you should have that privilege as well. STEM-based skilled trades, electromechanicals, your automations, and then that's going to allow you to have a skill set to be in all of the sectors. Trust me, all of the sectors you'll be able to participate in with our electrical, mechanical, controls, engineering skill sets. And so I still have the abilities to aid with those hiring fairs if you're just beginning your careers, as far as labs, for some of the lab hands-on aspects that we want to include. I would prefer to have some facilities, but I'm not going to make any excuses to prevent your participation from the upcoming hiring fairs. So we're going to continue to update those dates as we do addresses with the Africa Times News uploads and the event forum, the forum events. So look forward to that. And I digress from that, but you guys have records of, if she spent it, what that Amazon fee was. And so, the problem may be that she's, giving that 100% property tax, and everybody else is in a deficit. She's not accepting the $5 million that you guys was hoping she would steal from. And then during this same meeting, you guys voted against the audit. Okay, she wanted to do the audit. What's the term of the audit? The forensic audit there. She wanted to get the forensic audit. You guys voted against that. So they're behaving as obstructionists to smear, and then now they're just hoping that the smear would then and the inaction on the services will cause the people to be to then reject Tiffany. So she has to do a good job when she runs of getting some trustees who want to get the job done. It's not about having yes ma'ams or having yes ma'am type of people in the trustee position. But you don't want people just to be obstructionists, And so that's been my take with my update on the Tiffany situation there. I want to have a quick reaction towards. Yeah, I want to speak some more on that spirit that be present that you guys are creating with this bombardment of, and you got Trump derangement syndrome, but the second strain of TDS obviously is Tiffany derangement syndrome. Okay, that's the second. It's a potent strain, that Tiffany derangement syndrome. Okay, and so let me tell you about some of the traits that I've seen from the Tiffany derangement syndrome. Go look at some of the public meetings. One of the last ones, not this one, but the last one where Carlisle and them did their walkout. Okay, you had during the prayer. doing the prayer. Oh, they were just vulgar doing the prayer. All types of curse words. It was like the hell with God. The hell with God. It was the hell with God, and I think that's the spirit that came to the brother who was who being the antagonist here. Let me get the name of his show. Yeah. He didn't know what he was talking about. He didn't know what he was talking about. Talking about some the insurance people. They ain't covering Dalton. He said that that the insurance they can't get insurance because in Dalton because they not the insurance people see them the same way they see L.A., which was a complete fabrication. It's a complete. Isn't that Hannibal was hungry? That wasn't no. You need to go get some nourishment so that your train of thought and your analyses, can be a little bit better. Sometimes I mess up too in my analyses, but you messed up big time with that one saying well most of that one, you did eventually confess at the end when you said, I know y'all we was waiting on the bombshell, you know, but the man dresser didn't give us the bombshell, but the insurance they not covered because Carlisle and them they wasn't coming to work. They weren't coming to work. And that spirit, man, they cursing all doing the prayer. And they know what their whole purpose is to just come there and be belligerent and continue to manifest this spirit of ugliness and evil and not dealing with the people's business and service, and services, like the insurance, so the bills can get paid, so that they can't sue. All they talking about, then Hannibal Hunger, he talking about all the problems that these people who walking out from the meeting are creating. If you're getting a lot of bills that's not getting paid, well, you see, right? Even in the meeting with Jedediah was just getting booked. They want to put emotion on some of the other bills. She did, thank God, get the I think she got the budget passed. But the other initiative that she had that obviously her administration is on the up and up to give towards the people. They were belligerent in the court because they don't want her to have any affirmations within the testimony, and so that's if the people earned that from her service, then give it to them. Not voting on it so they can't have insurance. They leaving out doing the meeting. Fuck this meeting. Y'all ain't gonna vote. Y'all ain't gonna stay here and vote and take care of this business with the meeting. Fuck your meeting. Go watch the tape. Fuck your meeting. And so just why Jedediah come up there, like I say, I lost a lot of respect for that brother right there, for him to get up there. As soon as I saw the headlines and I saw that they was bucking, I knew it had to be something that they had did wrong because I know how their spirit is in there. And I said, I hope they, I hope that they kicked whoever butt needed to be kicked when I saw it. But when I saw it was him, I was like, oh, come on, man. And then when I heard what he said, called her a B, I'm like, come on, man. They whooped his ass before he made it back to his seat. Because he was asking for it. If he didn't say that, of course he was approaching her to be violent. What else other way can you be? What else could you be requesting to call a black woman a B in front of her people? That's unacceptable. That's unacceptable. And I hope he don't try to do nothing silly like thinking he entitled to some type of lawsuit. Take your ass with apology. You need to be apologizing. That's what you need to be doing. You need to be apologizing for calling a black woman out of her name in office. And so that's what y'all y'all gotta take responsibility for that. For this man feeling as though he's empowered to call somebody a B. And like I say, nothing burgers. The only thing that he's trying to profit from is the clout that you guys are generating against Tiffany for daring to buck against the cabal structure. Because like I say, the more I watch her career, the more I see, even back in the day when she was a trustee, a no nonsense trustee. Y'all talk about like she, when they want the party up in the when they want the party, like I said, I think her the ice skating rink, that is something that's formal. That's something I think that's formal. That's for the people, and that's some substance. When they was partying back, and I was ready to support her on that. I'm thinking, okay, but Tiffany was in there like, no, she was real conservative about that back in her trustee days. When they was trying to host some parties at the they was hosting I thought it was legit. It was that night. It was grown. You feel me? I didn't see no problem with it. Me myself. But the Superman, she was conservative. She was conservative about that. She like, no, we ain't partying and like that, and so and I just see the more I see, the more I just think that a lot of what they doing is a witch hunt. Now I can't never say anybody's an angel, but like I said, when you talk about the line items that they've been talking about, I haven't seen anything that's been maliciously flagrant or out of line. Definitely not something. I already went and did a few comparative analysis of some other cities. I ain't gonna even name, but trust me, they don't want me. That's what I've been saying. The media been piping down with that threat. They've been piping down. Even Jamont Taylor been good. He been getting extra fly for all of the each Tiffany Henyard event. Jamont Taylor over at CBS getting extra fresher, and he's starting to be more balanced in his coverage. Like the brother Leon Rogers over at Fox, balanced coverage, man. Give your sister that respect. Let her do her service. If you see something that's bogus, you're gonna report on that. But don't just be out here fanning the flames against somebody working in service. Just because they don't like how she rocking the boat. If she giving the people 100% property tax rebates and everybody else in a 100% deficit, no, you gotta come on. You got that's an attack against the people. Making the old people and then they say that the brother Napoleon, not only that coup d'etat Napoleon, bad enough. Got the old people out. You ain't gonna let them come in the caucus. You gonna make the old people sit out there, and you gonna coup d'etat the caucus. They saying he in bed with the insurance people, and so if you don't try to make that ass whooping that Jedediah had to take the Superman fault. He had that coming. They trusted him. They gave him interviews with her top lieutenants. Gave him interview. I just saw some interviews I watched with him with her top lieutenants, and then he gonna get up and he get that access, so he's being respected as a journalist. And then you gonna get up there and disrespect her like that, and you getting the access to her lieutenants, and you know what I'm saying, for your platform. No, that's unacceptable. That's rude. You take that goddamn ass whipping stride and apologize to the Super Bear so that could be a good example on how you move on after you make a mistake. But don't just let it linger out there, trying to soak up all the all this fake clout sympathy. This fake clout sympathy, when you got up there and got reckless with your mouth. You feel me? With an elected official, and then all these other hypocrites. Well, the media been doing a good job. They've been saying, you cursed at the Superman. All the reports I saw pretty much said they pretty much letting they pretty much were unanimous in saying that you bogus, and but all the clout chasers, they in the comments, all the clout chasers in the comments, they trying to they mad, they want to continue the lynch mob actions against Tiffany, even though they got a nothing burger. And so the sisters ain't nowhere to be seen on it. A lot of the sisters been bashing her. Even some of the sisters who work I like, they've been calling her the 304 mayor and all that type of stuff. And you got a nothing burger, and y'all ain't ain't none of y'all been stepping up since they kicked the old people out of the caucus.
You know, now she just called up. I'm gonna see what y'all coverage. They're gonna ignore this. They ain't gonna say nothing about her being called the B. They just gonna say, oh, she was throwing blows. They ain't gonna show the segment where Jedediah called the B. And so we're gonna see how that's gonna play out, man. I hope y'all do the right thing, man. We're holding that brother accountable and telling him, man, he can't be calling a super mayor. You know, tone down y'all spirit when y'all come to these meetings. You know, Superman need to put a camera on y'all ass, and if you say anything, you know that you ain't got to move to another facility. If they say something, kick their ass up out of there. Kick their ass up out of the camera. Ain't no talking doing your if your ass ain't called the if you ain't the if you ain't got the floor and you talking, you need to get their ass up out of there. You need to be kicking their ass up out of there. Have it on video so they can show them later. Yeah, this is the way we run their mouth and get their ass up out of there, man. Kick their ass up out of there. Don't be tolerating all that reckless decorum in your forums. Kick their ass out. You know? And then that's gonna start to nip that in the bud, you know. They wanna when you giving your explanation after they vote down sensible, 100% property tax rebate. Bonus for the employees. I get a bonus where I work. The bonus, everybody where I work at, we love our bonuses. You know, if you got a surplus with your budget and you can get those people a bonus, why not? You know, the forensic audit. They talking all this mess about, FO, the FOIA and that lack of transparency, but they don't want to put the budget towards the forensic audit. And then when she explaining after each of these knows that the trustee being obstructionist against, here go the crowd, being all disruptive and disrespectful. Kick their ass out. Whoever making that, they need to get the fuck up out of there. Get up out of there. Can't be handling it because now you see what it escalates to us. It escalates to people thinking, okay, now we can say fuck her meeting. When we departing, we can call her all types of B's and all this type of stuff. No. Yeah, man, blackforumsolution.com, blackforumsolution.com. Got that affirmation measure. I'm going to be doing mixes. We're going to be getting that remix. So if you support that, you're going to always have access to a new mix of that. Keep in touch with me, man, for these forum events. Always going to be opportunities to collab and showcase your art, showcase your businesses. Seeking unconventional methods of crowdfunding towards investments. Okay, the open mics that's associated with those events, of course, part of the itinerary culinary culture events, culinary dishes that's associated with the continent and countries of the continent, depending on that month of independence. Whoever got independence that month, that's the culture cuisine is going to be part of that forum itinerary. That's going to be the fashions that's going to be celebrated during those events, man. Blackforumsolution.com to keep up with those events. Again, that affirmation measure, that's some current poetry. Hip-hop poetry. We got that 2004 event, that 2004 Free Life Records inaugural, composition with my homie from Dayton, Ohio, is Ruckus. Dayton, Ohio representation on there. You got the Tidewater representation on there, Black Boy Black, Bolt B. Moore, Rallo. Some heavy Baltimore presence on there. Skills, upstanding, empowered, self-determined flow, with them standards. You know what I'm saying? Them uplifting standards. They know the criteria in that Free Life Records studio. We're working on that at 45, 47, reconciliation right now. Too much heat. A lot of tracks with Woo. Got a track with Redman, Master Killer, Capadonna, Killer Priest, Ghostface, it's the Inspector Deck, tracks with all them. Got a joint with from the Detroit with you feel me?
Obi, young Obi. We got. I like that feel with Obi, real dope. Got something with Tunchi. I got something with Tunchi, man. I'm gonna put it on there. Tunchi, a little bit of confrontational on there, but I'm gonna go ahead and put that Tunchi joint on there. You did. Who else we got on there? A lot of collab, a lot of potent collaboration. Rakim, the God MC, of course. Got a joint with the God MC coming on there. So it's a bunch of potent, standards with the folk who you get that inspiration from, who you get that potent inspiration from with these free life collaborations. And of course, we want to always the mini series who on the tracks, most of these tracks, who making that series possible, making these collaborations possible. I was throwing on his track since like 2013. I was riding up doing field service work, freestyling to his instrumentals, and he blown all the way up now to provide those series now, collaborations with a lot of the mainstream industry. So that's a good look. Collaborating with us over here with these events. Definitely look forward to being able to have those types of collaborations and access to that. And so I said I'm finishing up on that. I'm gonna be doing more coverage on the economy, how that ties in. It's this post on this particular article where they were talking about 8 things that would be good ideas for Trump's administration, and one of them ties right into Grand Marine staff instruction. See, what you're going to see is a lot of these guys who are talking about that similar structure, their chronology of them presenting it doesn't predate the Grand Marine staff. We the genesis of that. And what you're going to see is they're implementing it in tech sectors and management sectors, but not in the skilled trade sector. But you're going to see that we're the real McCoys with our structure. We're the real McCoys. All right. I can show you the reach that they reach out for in these skilled trades that you're going to get. Okay. You're going to have the resume to present to people that's a demand. And so that's the position you want to be in. That's what we want to be focusing on, that with the African Times News. I'm gonna that's gonna be in association with the current trade tariffs and so forth, and economic agenda that's being implemented. That's gonna tie right in again with these skilled trades. That's Grand Marine staff, and that's gonna be part of the itinerary with the Black Forum events, and y'all be looking out for that. BlackForumSolution.com.